Ask who is the most talented team in Dubai at the moment regarding innovation and engineering. It's Sui. We are creating a new landscape where whatever you had on Web2, it's possible now on Web3. We have the fastest network in the world. We now have a way to onboard users. We know how to do it because we're coming from Facebook. That's why I believe it's going to be the Apple of Web3.
It's not the tech, it's the team. That's the difference with you guys. You have deep experience, and over time, that shows.
In this cycle of crypto that everything is changing, we have the team that is very quickly going into its direction, and we have a new innovation, literally every 2 weeks. There is a niche market for everybody, but I believe we're covering most of the space. We can win in almost every case.
What are you doing in Dubai? I mean, you could be anywhere.
Here, I realized that people respect technology. You can easily find use cases because the blockchain has more applications for developing countries. And Dubai is a developed country, but surrounded by developing countries. And I go with my solution engineers and me as a cryptographer, and we have ad hoc, on the spot, delivering the smart contract. Nobody can compete with us.
They say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Is that the story of you?
Yes, I don't feel I'm working. I'm passionate about this. I'm not sleeping, for example. I live with power naps. There is a passion that drives me. I can see why blockchain can change society. This too is going to change our everyday life. And that's why I'm passionate.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is... This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Kostas Chalkias, the Web3 expert, white hat hacker, and blockchain engineer. You are the chief cryptographer and co-founder of Mysten Labs, whose mission is to simplify blockchain, enhance security with AI, and expand real-world Web3 applications beyond finance. Misten Labs is the team behind Sui, the world's fastest blockchain, designed to deliver the benefits of Web3 with the ease of Web2, to be more accessible, secure, and user-friendly for everyone. Before Mysten, you led cryptographic initiatives at Facebook, now Meta, and R3, shaping the security foundations of many of the most influential blockchain projects today. You believe Web3 shifts the power from platforms to people by eliminating untrustworthy intermediaries and safeguarding privacy. You have said that direct digital ownership gives everyone greater control, unlocking the internet's true value. Your vision is to empower individuals and creators to own their data and content by building a decentralized web stack that unlocks the full potential of Web3. Kostas, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Thank you, and I'm very happy that eventually I meet you in person and we're staying in the same room together. I see you around in Dubai. I moved very recently in Dubai, and now I have friends here, and I'm doing my passion innovation on the blockchain, and happy to discuss about a few things here.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really want to jump in. So I'm going to start with a quote from you, where you said, quote, "Honestly, I won't be surprised at all if Mysten Labs and anything that it touches surpasses the levels of what Apple is today. It's a very rare combination, even for Silicon Valley standards. RE, accumulated brain knowledge in one organization, unquote. So tell us, what is Mysten Labs? What is SUI? And how are you guys different from all the other layer ones out there?
Amazing. By the way, imagine me as an expat living from the UK, originally in Greece, then France, then the UK. Eventually I ended up into working for Mark Zuckerberg. For an expert in Silicon Valley, you can realize you're having to do with super brilliant people coming from Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, all of the big universities in the world. And I noticed the difference by the time I arrived in the US, that the team that we've built for Libra, maybe because Mark was generous enough to hire some of the biggest brains in the world, was so strong. And I was like an auditor for Ethereum for so many years, and I managed to crack smart contracts. I managed to find some like billion-dollar attacks. The concentration of brain at Facebook at that time was definitely the biggest in the world. Do you know what happened afterwards and why SUI and Mysten Labs is now this center? All of the team left after the Libra collapse.
Yeah.
And we got some of the people that were promoted in a so frequent like fashion at Facebook, that I didn't even believe that these people will leave Facebook to go to a startup. And imagine the concentration of brain power now. It's not only Facebook. There were people coming from Google, Netflix, Microsoft. We have about 60, 70 folks with PhDs in the company. Imagine like a set of 200 people working for Mysten at the moment. And pretty much half of them are coming from either PhDs or big universities, or they're very successful in their life. So the concentration as a startup, I haven't seen it in Silicon Valley. I have many friends working for like multi-billion-dollar companies. I worked at Facebook. I'm interacting with Google. I had a project with AI vulnerabilities on the blockchain using Gemini. I know how our team is superior. So the potential and the probability, if you ask, where would you bet your money now from all of the unicorns that you see around that will make it to be a funk, like a monk, as it's called now, right? All of the 5 big companies in the world. Mysten is probably, even if I try to be unbiased, has the best potential to make it. So that's why I believe that the rate of innovation is so high that I cannot see, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot or the market collapses, why we cannot make it and be like the decentralized, the brand.
So many founders talk about the tech, and obviously we're going to talk about tech.
Of course.
But I've also heard some very high-level founders say it's not the tech, it's the team. And sometimes people forget, or they can't see the team beyond the blockchain. But you're telling me that's a crucial factor and one of the big reasons that you've had success.
The most important one. Sometimes even when you're hiring or when you're acquiring a company, like a smaller one, you need to check the people's profile and the people's passion for something. Smart people, imagine when we were taking interviews at Facebook, we didn't even ask the developer to write in the language that he will use while he's like joining us. Write at any language you want. I know if you are smart and you are like a person who is inspiring and can do like pivots very quickly, you will thrive. So this is how we're following this like property in our organization. And we just hired like super smart people to work on the most difficult problems in the world. And then eventually, even if you don't like something, because not every bet is working, right? It's very simple for them to pivot to something else, which is again, even better than the previous one. So having such a team to be able to think in this cycle of crypto that everything is changing. It was the NFT, then it was the DeFi, it was the meme season. Tomorrow it might be the AI season, it might be IoT season, RWAs. We have the team that is very quickly going into its direction, and we have a new innovation, literally every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, if you ask me, there is a new white paper coming from Misten Labs.
Wow.
I mean, this is not compared to Facebook and Google. I was there, I know.
Okay.
This is huge.
Special.
Yeah, it's special. It is special.
So the first time I heard about SUI was when I met Sheikh Moala of GAF Labs and GAF Capital, and that was in 23. And I actually was here, I think for Token or some other event, and I met him, and it was at some party they had, and he came up, and I think he knew who I was, and then he said, would you like to meet CZ? And that's a question you always say yes to. And so
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I introduced me to CZ. I met him. We talked about the UFC and how many push-ups he could do. He was the coolest guy. And I had a meeting with the Sheikh that next week, and he started mentioning Sui. And they were the team that was really mentioning you a lot. And I think they'd started talking to you. And I kept hearing them talk more about Sui. And then I came back last year and went to one of your Sui Connect events with Gaff, and I met you and Christian. And talked to you, and I could see you guys were special.
Oh, we're very passionate.
Very passionate.
You know my background. I named my son Kryptos. So, what can you do better to actually devote your life for this? I literally do it.
His name is Kryptos.
His name is Kryptos.
And then I went back home to London in October, and a couple months later, Sui just lit up, and now you're probably the 12th largest blockchain protocol by market cap. And now all of a sudden, everyone knows Sui. But that literally all happened from a price standpoint in the last 3 or 4 months. And I know that gets you a lot of tension. And that's always good, right?
It's good. And Sui, the definition of Sui in Chinese and Japanese, do you know what it means?
No, I don't.
Water. And that's why you can see the drip as the logo of Sui.
Okay.
And
Bruce Lee, flow like water?
Yeah. And all of the innovation is flowing. So technically, the name was good, it inspired us. And that's the reason that Sui can innovate on all of the, across every industry you can imagine that is attached to Web3 at the moment.
I jumped into this market in 21 and I started going through all the layer 1 heads from, Emin at AVAX, and I talked to Mance at Hedera, and I talked to Justin's son at Tron, and I was just trying to get the lay of the land. And we all believed that a few years from then, there would be fewer L1s. And then we saw kind of the opposite happen. And now maybe we're consolidating again. And so I guess I'll go back to my original question. When people come to you and say, why is Sui so special? Why do we need another layer 1? How do you explain that to someone who's not maybe deep inside the details of blockchain?
It's very simple. So if you see now the current landscape of all of the L1s, I will talk only about L1s for the time being. There is Solidity. There is Ethereum, who had the new language, scripting language to write smart contracts, all of this stuff. The only other language that managed to be better and safer than Solidity is Move. And we created Move, starting from Facebook. Imagine my CTO, he is the creator of the Move language, the first one who put the first line of code in Move. I created all of the cryptographic stack of Move. And then all of these people coming from Facebook, obviously they knew how to handle billions of people, right? We need this. You cannot go and have a Web3 that is only DeFi and you only have the DGens. You need also the gamers. You need also the RWAs. You need people who know how to have a social network, because eventually even all of this will come into the blockchain.
Right.
You need it. So we have the background that if you see the potential, obviously, we have this checkmark, right? There is no way. These people know how to run big infrastructures. Web3 originally started as just transfer of money from Satoshi. But again, it evolved into a smart contract, fully programmable like space. And now we have the opportunity to be the creators of this infrastructure. So Sui managed, and Misten Labs managed to hire some of the best talents to work on every aspect of the stack. And it's not only Sui. I'm the chief cryptographer of Mysten Labs, but Sui is imagined as the CPU of the blockchain, very quickly having transactions. We managed to have almost 300,000 transactions, probably the first blockchain that managed to have this on a testnet phase. And we're having all of the peaks that we managed to surpass Solana and all of the rest on daily active users, transactions per second, latency, half a second latency. Who could imagine it? Imagine Bitcoin is 10 minutes at the moment. Half a second latency, now you can even do AAA games on the blockchain. You can do arbitrage on chain. You can do stuff that it wasn't possible with the previous stack. Right? Even Ethereum has a 14-15 second finality. Now, so Sui is creating a new landscape where pretty much whatever you had on Web2, it's possible now on Web3. Even the transaction rate, every blockchain company is chasing Visa. Visa has 20,000 transactions per second. Under the peaks, New Year's Eve, it goes to 100K and all of this stuff. We managed to do it in a decentralized way. So these things were impossible before. What do you need for this, right? You need a team that is super innovative on consensus algorithm, because consensus is defining the TPS and the latency. Some other L1s probably have some people who are very good at consensus. But this is like one founder, and he doesn't know about all of the rest, because crypto is not only technology. And then you need the cryptographer. The cryptographer will create new systems, And myself coming from Facebook, I realized, for everybody to onboard into a new system, you need to do it in 1-2 seconds maximum. How can you do this now with mnemonics? That people have to write their passwords and then get a copy, and they don't have in their brain, there is no forgot password in the blockchain, because 99% of the population is attached to social networks.
Right.
They don't know it. People are losing their money.
The 12-word keep phrase is terrible.
The 12-word mnemonic.
It never scales.
Exactly. And we invented, it was literally my baby, ZK login. And ZK login was the first zero knowledge proof. It's a privacy preserving algorithm that I managed to do login with Google or Facebook or Apple, and automatically you have an address, and Google doesn't know your address, which was magic, right? And this is now the most used zero knowledge proof technology across any industry in the world.
ZK login.
ZK login. ZK login is the most used ZK technology in the world. Even if you add all of them together.
Okay. I don't put a password in.
Yes, you don't. You just need Google. And now we're going to have also passkeys, like with your Face ID. And imagine for micropayments and all of these things, it's amazing. Then you can have, of course, a second factor for larger transactions. But who are the people who are moving to the largest transactions? Only a small part of the population. But you help them on board very quickly. You can even hide the fact that there is a blockchain behind it. Imagine a game that now you start, you logged in with Google and you play the game. All of the Web3 attempts to get the games into their ecosystem, they have to find a new way that the players do not see the difference. Right. And we managed to do it. That's why Sui, by the way, was a sponsor at Red Bull. Red Bull had an NFT campaign and everybody logged in with Google, and in literally a couple of days there were hundreds of thousands of users having an NFT on Red Bull. And then we realized, wow, this is amazing, right? We have the fastest network in the world. We now have a way to onboard users. We know how to do it because we're coming from Facebook. And then I covered now consensus and cryptography. And then our CTO is a creator of a new language which is better than Solidity. So we also have the talent for a new language. And then Evan Cheng, the CEO of the company, he was the head of research at Facebook. And at the same time, he was leading teams in Apple. You are running his operating system. He won one of the engineering awards from ACM, one of the biggest organizations, in the next year, I believe, after Andreessen Horowitz from A16Z. So this guy is also IQ 200, I don't know, he's super smart. He's leading a foundation. He managed to do Apple, Facebook. He managed to bring all of us next to him, and we created this. And then we have the fifth co-founder, all of them directors or leads at Facebook, who is a degen. This guy was leading products for Facebook. Before that, on VMware, he knows how to deliver. He had one of the biggest mining farms in London, probably the first one. You're from London, right?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So we managed to find a group of different talents in the leadership level that I cannot see on any other L1. Okay. Go to Solana. Solana has Tolly. Tolly is I respect him. He is a very good engineer. He did something. There is probably, if you see the innovations that he created personally as an individual, it doesn't even compare to every single founder in Misten Labs. And imagine we have 5. The fact that we're 5, by the way, it helps a lot because you need to delegate. The space is so big at the moment that I moved to Dubai. My other co-founder is in the UK. He lives in London. He's a professor at UCL, probably the best consensus expert in the world. And then the other 3 people are in Palo Alto now, but they're traveling a lot. Denis is everywhere, right? I mean, he has a charisma. So in my opinion, this combination of having the founders being able to be magnets for talent to come to us. Check my recent tweet. I'm creating a Commandos team. This happened 10 minutes before I come to your room.
A Commandos team? What is that?
It's a special forces team that it's going to be a very, very strict interview. I will cherry pick them from hackathons, but I will originally start from Asia. So I will go Vietnam, India, Pakistan, GCC, Indonesia. I'm gonna cherry pick super good people. And onboarding will be, you have a tent, you have boots, and you're coming with me on hackathons, you're coming with me in governments, let's digitize the world. Wow. Commandos is with double S at the end, open source systems.
Okay, and you'd literally drop into a city.
Yes.
And on a mission.
Exactly.
Okay,
imagine I could have a parachute as well. Right. I'm crazy, I will do the parachute. I will not give them a laptop.
Okay.
I'll give them a parachute. And then we have Christian, you met Christian, right?
Yes, amazing.
Christian is also on the security front, right? He's amazed on what we can do now with a Commandos team across the world. And even internally at Mysten, this is literally a friend who wants to invest in SUI ecosystem. And he told me, Kostas, help me. I need to find the best people for special force, for special projects across the world. And then we said, we will do it. I know how to do it. But they have to follow my pace. Down the road, you're going to ask me about some things that I have on the spectrum. I'm not sleeping, for example. I live with power naps. So the people who are joining Commandos, they have to follow this pace.
No sleeping, just power naps. Kostas
Power
style.
naps, the Da Vinci mode.
That's what Da Vinci did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my wife, do you know how many times she has markers in her face? Because I have markers across my, back in the wall. So when I wake up randomly at night and I have some idea that I couldn't solve, I very quickly write it down to wherever I find. And sometimes I use my wife's face because
really?
You don't see at that time, right? You're literally half sleeping.
Man, she must love you, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you see, the intellectual quality and the fact that we have also the Degen thing, it's not only a cryptographer who created a blockchain, a Degen who created a blockchain, it's the combination.
Okay.
We have everything. And that's the reason that many talents followed us. Okay. They followed me, they followed Evan, they followed Adeniji, they followed Sam, and they followed George. From the biggest universities in the world, they came to Misten Labs. That's why I believe it's going to be, it has at the moment the best odds for being the Apple of Web3.
Okay. Must be a very senior management team, founding team, where 5 high-level individuals can work together. And maybe you don't see that in a lot of projects because maybe they never...
Very rare.
Yeah, it is.
Very rare. But fortunately, we're all sane people. Obviously, when you're taking decisions, it's not that you agree on everything. But we're trying to do it in a way that works for the company. Sometimes I disagree. But at the same time, I see the data that they're providing me when we go into these debates, and almost always, all of the decisions we took are actually for a good purpose. Okay. Even for those I personally disagreed.
Okay.
And sometimes I win on these debates.
But it's always data-driven.
Yes, it's data-driven, and we're always voting between each other. It's literally working really well as a DAO.
Okay.
We literally have a DAO between the leadership, and it's not only founders. We give also the power to our people to give us feedback. Okay. Feedback is a gift. Something you are learning in Silicon Valley, it's don't be someone who doesn't accept getting criticized and all of these things.
Yeah.
Look, you have to understand, get the data, and then you do whatever you want with this data.
Don't let the ego get in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard, because at first the immediate reaction is defense.
We were trained to do that. I believe the reason it works is because all of us have worked in these companies, which was part of the protocol. Yeah. You cannot work at Facebook if you don't receive feedback. Yeah. You will never be promoted.
Yeah, I think that's the difference with you guys. You have deep experience, decades and decades in these high-tech startups in Silicon Valley, whereas some of these protocols are degen-ish, where maybe they didn't have that layer. And I think over time, that shows in how quickly
100%. And don't get me wrong, right? I always had Solana under my portfolio, even companies or investments. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. There is a niche market for everybody. But I believe Mysten is covering most of the space at the moment. Okay. We can win in almost every case.
Let's quickly talk about Libra because it's part of the story, and then we can dive in more into Mysten. Tell us about Libra. It was obviously killed in the end. I heard it was killed really for political reasons, but it also created Mysten and everything you're doing at SUI. 100%. And you said something earlier which was fascinating. When you're working at Facebook, you're thinking about 3 billion users from the beginning. Yeah. And when you're building in DeFi, you're thinking about a fraction of that and maybe helping them.
Just thousands.
Yeah, thousands, I know, and maybe just thousands. So you're not even thinking outside the box in some way, but you're thinking, well, we could roll this out to WhatsApp. We could roll this out to everything. And you had to do that. You worked on cryptography at WhatsApp. So maybe just talk about that whole Facebook experience, Libra, how it started, how it ended.
So it was David Marcus. I respect this guy. He actually helped me to get into Facebook. That Mark Zuckerberg gave him the stamp, go run Libra. David Marcus is coming from PayPal. He was at Messenger, leading the Messenger team. He's a charismatic person. He created an elite team where he hired people across the world. Imagine he found someone Greek that worked for a UK company. Come on to Facebook. We want you, right? You run R3. You designed everything on R3. We give you a better offer. Come to the US. When I joined, something that I personally realized at Facebook, which was probably something that I didn't like, is I don't believe Facebook had so many security and crypto talent compared to the Libra team. The Libra team was more talented on particular parts of science, especially on cryptography, and also creating new languages as well as, for Web3. There was not so much Degen culture at Facebook. We created, David Marcus, he's a Bitcoin maxi, he created this culture. Then David hired Evan Cheng. Evan is the CEO now of Mysten Labs. Evan ran all of the research team. The number of people coming from the top universities with the best publications in the world that he hired was amazing. I didn't expect this. When I joined Facebook, I said, okay, I'm one of the first cryptographers who is joining. We're going to have a small team. Like in R3, I was alone, actually.
Right.
Now, at least I have a few colleagues. I can work together.
Did you have any hesitancy to join Facebook? Or
No.
was it just the opportunity of a lifetime
No,
to be in the
R3
center
was
of the
collapsing
valley?
as well that time.
Okay,
So
right.
apart from didn't have an option, I interviewed with many funks, actually, and I literally auctioned my offer at Facebook. Okay. You don't go directly, right? This is a hint for everybody who's looking for a job. If you are good and you believe in yourself, get another offer as well so you can play with the prices.
Okay.
Right? And I did this, but the reality is Facebook was a better fit for me because I was coming from the blockchain world. And at that time, Google, Apple, and other companies did security, but nothing related to Web3. Okay. So for me, it was a no-brainer. After I was invited there, the CTO now of SWI, of Misten Labs, Sam Blackshear, I met him in a conference. It's very interesting how I ended up at Facebook. This conference was when I invented an algorithm for post-quantum signatures. If the quantum computer comes, how we can protect ourselves against the power that this machine has. And Sam joined this session because I had worked with the first developer of Satoshi for the Java library, the Bitcoin J, Mike Harn, was my manager at R3. And Sam said, how bad can this be presentation with Mike Harn being in the co-authors? But he doesn't see Mike Harn, he sees me, okay? Which I was the lead cryptographer of Mike Harn. And then Sam goes back to Facebook and he writes a post that, guys, I met a genius. We have to hire him. And then when I joined, nobody had deleted that comment, which was months before I joined, 6 months before I joined. And I realized that people were talking about getting all of the big brains, and I was considering myself, I was confident I'm good at cryptography. I have a role at Facebook. And then I happily accepted, of course. We joined. Libra was moving very fast, especially at the very beginning. I will say that one of the problems eventually I would personally see coming from this space, it was slightly slower on adoption of new techniques because there is bureaucracy. Even if Libra was operating as a startup inside Facebook, imagine we even had, I personally started being paid at Facebook, then being paid at Novi, then being paid at DM, different startups inside, where we try to keep our own culture, as WhatsApp did, by the way, at Facebook. But again, you still have the bureaucracy. And in this world where the cycle is very short, every few months, I invented new algorithms and I was locked. I couldn't do anything. You know that during COVID, I've implemented an algorithm to find attacks on proof of solvency algorithms in all of the big exchanges. I almost predicted what would happen with FTX. I was presenting Luna and other things 2 days before Luna collapses in the financial crypto conference about something is not right in stable coins, algorithmic coins, and exchanges. Because this was something that David Marcus gave me as a role. Find all of the algorithms for proof of solvency. Where Facebook, we have to fix the market. Okay. Right? So believe me, Facebook did a lot of job to make good science, to publish stuff, to change the narrative, and having all of this talent going into other chains afterwards. Now Libra, I don't know if it's political reasons, if it was COVID. During COVID, you cannot even go to every country and say, we're going to launch Libra. You couldn't even fly. Right. It was very difficult times, right? And then there was a change of administration. It was, as I told you, it was growing a bit at a higher rate than I was expecting. Eventually, indirectly, 1,000 people being involved into the project. And in these cases, you need a Commandos team to deliver, right? You cannot be slow. I had 10 piled papers in my desk that I knew this will change the world, but we couldn't apply them because we were already ready for production. And believe me, we were launching every month. I lost my paternity leave when Kryptos was born in London. And then I have my second child, Philip, in the US. Philip was born during the time that Libra was launching, and launching, and launching. And every month was launching. And then for 1 year it was launching. And I didn't get my paternity leave because I said, I cannot live now. We're launching next month. Yeah. So it's a combination, in my opinion, of bad timing. The fact that we could, I believe, do better job on not doing two things at the same time, both a stable coin, which was a basket, and a new blockchain. How do you advertise all of these two things to regulators? It's very tough. If you are Facebook, they're afraid as well. You had the Cambridge Analytica incident in the past. There were many things that they say, okay, you have all of our socials, you cannot have all of our financials. Now, in talent-wise, I don't believe there is a comparison. It was the best team in the world. So all of this, after the collapse, 6 months before, I mean, people who are in leadership, they understand it's collapsing. So we left. Everybody wanted to leave. And then somehow we all met almost independently. We had Evan saying, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to do it by myself. George said, I'm going to do it. And then we said, guys, let's do it together. Okay. So we created Sui, and many people from the Facebook Libra team actually followed us. And this created a domino effect where people from Netflix, from Microsoft, from Apple, like former colleagues of us, also joined us. Even from R3. I got people from R3 as well.
Wow. If this had been the current Trump administration, you might have stayed with Facebook and Libra might have launched. Perhaps.
There is a possibility. You never know, because I'm telling you, it's multiple factors that affected this, right? Everybody was visionary. David Marcus was visionary. Mark Zuckerberg was visionary. We were super inspired by this. I was working from my closet. When there was COVID, for a moment in my life, I didn't have a big place to live, and I had one newborn and a baby, at 2 years old. I was working from my closet all day because you couldn't go out, you couldn't go to the office. It was also very difficult for the employees to be in this new type of engagement with the company. Working at Facebook is literally a campus. We had pizza, burgers,
dry cleaning,
anything. It was like a small village.
Okay.
And I lost all of this. And suddenly I said, okay, you lose all of these perks that you're getting from Facebook. You are in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, you have to take bets. Come on, you're in the center of the world where you can create a new startup. You're confident about your brain, your intellectual property that you have. You have to be surrounded by the most important people. This is spoiler, but there was another blockchain that they wanted me to be a co-founder. Also from Facebook.
A current competitor, perhaps?
Yes, and I said no, I'm going with Evan.
Okay.
Because Evan is the brain.
Okay.
I cannot go to people that I didn't believe they were special.
Well, let's talk about Aptos, because this is the other faction of Facebook that's come out, and there was some healthy or unhealthy competition between the two of you guys.
Yeah.
What is the story with Aptos and Sui?
So, at Facebook, after the collapse of Libra, before the collapse, everybody started thinking that, okay, I can optimize by staying in the Web3 environment. And I also have some cool ideas. So Aptos decided to do the following. Look, all of these guys, Kostas, Sam, they've built Move, because these are the Move language chains, right? Aptos and us were using the Move language, and Sui put a completely different path, and we made many changes to the Move language compared to what we had at Facebook. Aptos decided to clone it. In my opinion, it was already too old. As I told you, delays, bureaucracy, and we had better ideas on how to scale Move in a different way. So Aptos decided to get a clone, create Aptos. Very quickly they launched, even if they started the company later than us, while we implemented. We were in a stealth mode trying to build a better system, better than the Move of Facebook. So imagine Aptos as being pretty much the clone of Libra and us being the innovative part of Libra. It's like you have two kids, and one of them is saying, I will take my own path because I know how to succeed better. And I believe the innovation rate in Sui was, even at the time of hiring, because I knew the people who were hiring that they were promoted last month. They were super good at what they're doing. While on the other side, I couldn't see this. I could see more secrecy, more like we know that Sui is better and let's find another way. Sometimes I see it as a copy-paste situation, if you're asking me. I believe we're by far most innovative. Anyway, some of their people are okay. I don't believe all of their team is as gifted as the Sui team, But they decided to get just a clone of Libra and then continue over this. We decided to take another path, more innovative. That's the main difference in the structure of the teams. Now we're also more decentralized, like they're more Palo Alto like concentrated. We are having people across the world. We build like offices here in Dubai, the UK, Greece. We have literally next to Sidagma, we got a big building that will be announced in the next few weeks or months. We were in Asia. We know how to, because even the founders are technical founders. I'm still coding. 3 of the founders are still coding. At Aptos, nobody's coding from, now it's only 1, by the way, 1 left.
Okay.
There is a process of elimination there. So for many things that I believe didn't fit to my appetite, sometimes I consider them toxic as well, I couldn't join Aptos.
Okay.
For me, it was a no-brainer. And you know, if you talk to either Adeniyi, Evan, George and Sam, you will realize how charismatic they are on changing the landscape. Like we have to make a leapfrog situation for the blockchain to succeed. We cannot just have only DeFi users. We need to find another way. If you see how even the Aptos team were looking at my work and their leadership team were focusing on, hey, Kostas, let's work together and all of these things, you will realize that in some sense at Facebook they were jealous of what we were doing. So I consider them as like it's good that the Move language is also having another like place to be alive and evolve. At the same time, I consider us by far better either on community or innovation. I don't believe there is anything else at the moment.
Do you rate any other layer ones? Like when you
better
look
than
at,
us?
Yeah,
on innovation?
or just
no.
the top 25.
No.
Are there any that you look at and say they're doing these things good? I mean, you obviously said Solana, does some things or early innovations.
I do.
But is there anything you see in any of them, or is it just, are you guys superior in everything?
I believe some of them are completely disorganized. Polygon, for example, they're going here and there. It cannot work. At the same time, some others are focusing on stealing from us, like they're late in the game. Some others are like Solana. Look, Solana has a community. We believe we can go faster than anyone else on like being the next thing after Solana. And I believe we're doing like really good job here. If you can see the numbers on how Sui grew and being the best blockchain, performing blockchain in 2024, not only on the pricing part, because pricing is another thing. I'm a nerd, I don't care about this. But on technology part, you see all of the biggest innovations in the world came from Sui. So this thing, I don't see it on other blockchains. Maybe Avalanche has this like subnets and they can get the niche market somewhere else. Solana, I believe that we will have competition. Berachain is also joining for community. We're having a very, very strong DeFi, one of the strongest DeFi ecosystems in the world. I believe we're approaching with a higher pace than anybody else. So I don't see the other things. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't even know. If you ask me what Near is doing with AI and all of this stuff, I believe we have a better AI team. We even hired someone who is a very, very popular and intelligent person, publishing on Eurips every year. He's going to be a great addition for us, even on the AI sector. I don't believe we have a competitor. And I try to be unbiased. I'm telling you, I like science. I would be honest. I'm telling you, I had Solana in the past. I even own a few now. But Sui has a better technology. We even created a decentralized storage network. Walrus.
Yeah.
Wait for Walrus, right? Because we had Filecoin, we had Arweave, we had a few others. Go and check on Twitter how, it's like a storage layer on steroids. It's by far better on every aspect. So Sui, Walrus, we had Deephook, which is the Nasdaq of the blockchain, literally an order book. We have NS, which is the identity. Who has created all of this? Like 4 technologies in 2 years. The only team who can do it is us. All of the rest are focusing in one direction. This cannot, the blockchain is not only execution on transactions. You have to offer something else that governments can come in, that Web2 banks, the TradeFi, anything can go onto the blockchain and don't feel a difference between Web2 and Web3, just only more transparency and better ownership. So that's why I'm thinking sometimes, yes, Kostas, if you were unbiased, is there another blockchain that you work at the moment? No, nothing, zero.
There's a famous quote by the UFC fighter Conor McGregor who says, he says, losers focus on winners, winners focus on winning.
Yes, this is happening, by the way, with some of the teams that you mentioned.
They're
We
looking
don't
at
care
you.
about-
They're looking at you, and you're looking into the future.
Yes. But there is always a niche market. There is, if you see in the McDonald's, Burger King, there is the high quality and there is also the very like fast food. Right. But in some regions, people are poor and they're getting McDonald's. Right? But there is other high quality like burger places we can go now. So in my opinion, we managed to actually bring everybody into the chain with this onboarding stuff that we built. Imagine that I'm doing even internet-less transactions, crazy things that we can discuss as well. Yeah. I don't believe anyone else is looking at the full picture. Everybody's looking at, I don't know, optimizing on their pricing model or everything else. We optimize on the usability, on something that will change the narrative and like bring confidence even to the people who don't know about Web3. Imagine, I'm personally talking to many governments, and you know, the Greek stock market, for example, is coming on SUI. Big projects that you need to gain confidence. Right. Forget Aptos for a while because they're also coming from Facebook. It's very difficult to go to like a place which is more traditional and conservative if they don't see a team that has succeeded in the past, and it's not a random team who created the blockchain. They cannot easily move their like country's assets into that blockchain. It's impossible. They need to see who is behind it. It's literally a KYC, a profile, a curriculum on who is going to build it for me. And we're winning there. Almost every case.
I've heard people say SUI is Solana for institutions.
I would say that SUI is not only for institutions. If you see how many times SUI was down and more robust and how we can accommodate more users, I believe we're going to win all of the meme, DeFi, gaming, institution space, all of them. And the only competitor would be the L2s on Ethereum, probably. But the L2s, I'm coming from a country that is like a Polynesia country, right? Greece. There are so many islands. Go and live in the islands in the winter. Good luck. Too many islands, the liquidity is actually split between different places. You need this liquidity in the same place. Do you know why some countries are coming to SUI? Because of the potential of having the gamers, the DeFi users. We even have some successful memes on SUI. And institutional, like RWAs and all of this stuff, because we need everybody to accommodate this liquidity. Okay. The gamer, especially with good things, imagine even CZ, he personally invests now on education and financial literacy for poor people. All of these folks eventually, due to CZ, will come into the blockchain because he's a public figure, right? And I believe we have to be the chain that will hug them. Come with us. We know how to onboard you. We know how to get you into a state where you're going to make money from this. You're going to also invest here. So if you don't get the gamers and you have the real estate of Greece or some other country, UAE, into the chain, who is going to give you liquidity? You need all of them. So for this to win, you need to have the most robust and fastest system and easy system to be easy for everybody who wants to understand something new. Very difficult. People, even at Facebook, to make some changes, very simple, like moving one button from the left to the right, you're losing users originally. Right. People are used to templates. Even ourselves. Some people are somehow accepting the reality and they don't try to make a change. There are only a very, very small portion of humanity who are taking bets and they're shifting very quickly. Most of them, they don't want to change. Right. Even if they know they're not having the perfect life. So for us, it's let's combine, let's get these two worlds get married together. And that's why I believe we don't have a competitor, and I don't believe that Solana is going to beat us down the road. We're going to win even against Solana.
Let's talk about Web2 social media companies, because so far we haven't seen any of them come on the blockchain or offer crypto services. Now, Facebook obviously abandoned Libra for whatever reason. Elon Musk is always rumored to be bringing crypto transactions on chain, but I've heard other people say then the app won't be available in the App Store and there's all sorts of other issues and it's nowhere near happening. But do you see this happening? Because you used to work in one of those companies. And is this a threat to you or an opportunity for you? Are
you talking about the big companies or smaller companies who want to be the decentralized Facebook and TikTok? This exists.
I'm talking about the bigger ones.
Yes, this exists. For example, Sui has Fun TV, Record, and some other big names are also coming. Now, what would it take for Facebook, Google, TikTok, and Twitter to coming into the blockchain? There are a few things that we have to consider that sometimes it's a bit more complicated, even if crypto is more like liberal and people can come and do stuff that might not be censored. There is still some like regulations that, for example, you need some of the stuff to be able to be deleted.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.